Don't forget to hit record.
All right, welcome to the Variety Lounge, episode 6. My name is Joseph, and this is Randy, as always. And we are here to discuss the singular topic today. I would first of all like to apologize for the time that it's taken. It's been 3 weeks since we've made a new video. Between business trips and technical difficulties, we have been unable to actually make a uh, episode essentially. So I would like to first most apologize for that and say that we should be good to go from here on out. At least fingers crossed, right? So other than that, I was gonna say for myself, nothing really new as always. A very boring person. Randy, what about yourself?
Well, I made a quick trip down to Boise and back this week. Worked a show, called on customers, drove down there from Missoula, which turns out it's an extremely unpleasant drive. I had done it like 40 years ago and remembered it as being unpleasant and figured, well, they've had to make it better. No, they didn't. In fact, there was construction to make it worse. But I had a good week and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Awesome. So sorry, just checking my settings. And so, with this being the case, so the topic for this episode 6 is going to be what would you do if you found out that you were going to die? Now, I'm going to put specifics on this because it's a very broad subject. So, what I'm doing is if you were to find out that in 30 days you had, let's say, a 95% chance of not making it through it, and you had a 5% chance of surviving, what would you do with your life? Would you change anything? And how would your overall outlook be from that forward for that next 30 days? So, Randy, as always, I'll go ahead and start with you, and let's start with your point of view.
Well, I'm going to assume that for the 30 days, I'm functional. It's not like it's 30 days in hospice and then shuffle off to Buffalo. I assume that it'll the end will come very quickly. So what are you going to do for the next 29 days or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this brings up a broader thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've probably mentioned it on the show before, but I'm a firm believer that the only thing any of us have that is of actual value is our time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and sorry, the dog was growling at the window. Uh, it, Shut up. Anyway, I'm sorry. Um, can you give me a minute?
It's a very fascinating subject that we're talking about.
I'm sorry. That's fantastic. I've been dog sitting him for 2 days now, and he hasn't barked once. Waited till this moment. Um, anyway, it's the only thing we have value is time because that is the only thing we have a hard stop on. We have X number of minutes to live. So how would I want to spend my last minutes? I have family, friends, and loved ones that I would say are the most important thing to me. And I would want to focus on that in some manner. Um, I got some money saved up for retirement. I might blow it and have a retreat for all of us to go and spend some time together before the end. Um, what would I do with that time? Hopefully have fun. Um, I think I have a positive enough attitude in general that I could maintain that. And but I'm sure it would be hard. But I would want to be around my loved ones, and I would probably with a 5% chance of something panning out, I don't, I suppose if the 5% came true, I'd have to go find a job because I don't think I would keep working during that period of time.
All right,
I
so
enjoy
but
my
beyond
work.
that though, what would be your mindset though? Like, would your mindset change? Hypothetically, obviously, it's a situation we can't really speak to exactly how you would feel, right? But what do you think that you would feel differently about if that was the case? Because I mean, 30 days is 30 days, right? So there's some time frame put on it, but do you think your outlook's going to change, or is it just binding reasons to live in the moment?
Well, as you said, there's really not being in that position. I can't speak with any kind of authority on this topic,
Hmm.
but um, I would hope that I would cherish the time I had left and that I would spend those minutes wisely and with the right attitude. That I'm sure there would be a lot of struggles, as far as trying not to get self pitiful, but I think my attitude would change in that a lot of things that are important to me in the day to day, like going to work, like making that money, uh, which is pretty much my entire life right now, other than a podcast. Uh, I think I would find something else. I don't know if my last valuable minutes need to be spent focused on that. Uh, I'd ride my motorcycle.
Mm.
I'd see friends and family, loved ones. I would. I don't have a bucket list because I've had such an amazing life. I don't have anything that I want to do that I haven't done. Um, there's a few places I haven't traveled to, but nothing that's like, oh gosh, before I die, I got to get to Mykonos. No, no, I'd like to go to Mykonos, but it wouldn't be priority in that moment. Um, Talking, passing on things I've learned, trying to impart wisdom to those I care about. Maybe that would be it. They'd get bored of me, but they'd feel sorry for me, so they'd stick around and listen. Um, I don't know, Joe. We can circle back around to me. What would be on your agenda?
Well, first of all, I will say that if you were to tell me you had 30 days, I would still expect you on the podcast every Saturday. So I just want to throw
I
that out there.
I have no doubt about that. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a slave driver.
I am.
Just you know,
I am. Absolutely. I pull out my whip from a distance and, throw it out there. Go, go. Anyways, for myself, I wouldn't change anything. Um, I'm not one of the people that believe that work um, is some letting the man stick it to you perspective. I don't have that outlook. I never will. Um, Work should make you feel like you have value, that you exist for a reason beyond your own selfish reasoning. And that's just my point of view. Right or wrong doesn't matter, right? I live the way that I want to live. So I wouldn't fundamentally change how my day to day goes. Primarily because of that 5%. It may be small, very correct. It may be small, but I'm not going to derail everything that I worked so hard for, everything that I wake up to every morning for that possibility. And when your life is good anyways and is happy, why possibly derail it for a delusional fantasy on what you believe the next 30 days of your life should be? If you're genuinely happy, right, then you're genuinely happy. Why the fuck does that need to change? Now, don't get me wrong. Um, there would be elements that I would change onto talking to people that I care about probably more often. mainly because I would like to know that by the time that I was to pass, that I annoyed you guys just a little bit more, just a slightly bit more, so I can rest in my grave and know that I did what I do well. So I got to make sure that I get a little bit of that self satisfaction, even when I close my eyes. Um, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie A Man Named Otto. Have you seen that movie yet?
No, I haven't, and you've told me to watch it, and I have.
So I am weirdly a lot like that character. And my life is portrayed a lot about that character in certain situations, right? And because of that, um, you still got shit you need to do. You have yourself to take care of, and you have environmental things that need to be taken care of. So just dismantling a world that you have built for, even if it's a high probability, it's still not 100, right? Um, and with living my life normally, with going to work, with uh, finding a purpose through what I do, and going home and still feeling like I have a purpose, even without knowing that I'm dying, right? To fuck with that, just to give myself a what if perspective, because I look at it this way: if I haven't done it in my life anyways, then it probably wasn't important enough for me to halt my entire world to do it anyways, right? I have been through a lot of amazing shit in my life that have given me those opportunities, and I've chose to do other things than those other things that would be quote unquote my bucket list. So if it didn't have enough relevance then why would I believe in some hypothetical perspective that because I'm in a panic emotionally and timeline wise, that I would have to accomplish these things to feel like I live my life in some certain way, right? When I know for a fact that the way I live my life in general is fucking great. Why fuck with something that isn't broken? And that's kind of like my big deal is you have yourself to take care of, regardless of time frame, right? You live through it or you don't live through it. That's not the point of it. The point of it is at the end of that moment, whether it be tomorrow or 80 years from now or 30 days, is this conversation, right? Can you look down on your body if your consciousness would raise up, right, and you would see yourself, laying on the floor or wherever, and could you look at yourself and be like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, sucks. I would love to. There's a lot more things I would have loved to accomplish with this time, but I did fucking good, and I didn't waste a moment. And that's kind of where I would start off with that.
That's admirable. No, no, that's admirable. And I feel about that way about my life currently is that, and I've had a lot of weird and horrible shit happen to me, but I don't regret any of it, and that I'm where I am now, and it's a great place. And if any of those things hadn't happened, maybe I wouldn't be. Uh, I can't. You see, for me, I don't see myself continuing in the day to day routines because everything I do to a certain extent extends out into the future. I am succeeding at my job. I am saving money. I am doing this, doing that, doing investing, whatever, doing all this stuff for the future. And if that future is removed, I just have to believe that my priorities would change in that, okay, do I, am I, I'm not going to be here for my last payday if I continue to work through this. So, I think I would prioritize my time differently. You know, uh, and a distinct possibility would be, to drop into despair and
Mm-hmm.
and decide that snort and crank was what I wanted to do for the last 30 days because it made me feel better. I mean, I have to, in trying to visualize this, it's really hard to understand how I would react. I surprise myself on a day-to-day basis how I'm thinking about things. So, um, I don't know. I just don't see me going forward like nothing was wrong. I
Well,
just don't
I
see it.
think age has a factor with that, though. I think it
Oh, hell
depends
yeah.
on what you've accomplished and what you feel like you've done.
Yeah.
Sorry, would have a factor into what that would look like. Like, if I was younger, right? If I was 19, 20, something like that, I would probably be somewhat rebellious. I would probably end up spending my last 15 in jail. Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but it would really, so age plays a factor in it because if I was younger, I think that I would be rebellious. But it would just depend on what was around me uh,
Yeah.
in general, right? That would shift the decision making. While I think when you get older, like for yourself, for an example, you saying that you would be more willing to spend time with family and time for yourself. And for someone like me who's, just all about fucking success and trying to kill it every day, right? Um, that is what makes me happy. And so it has nothing to do with whether I have 30 days or not. It's knowing that to the last day I never gave up, right? I never tried to push further for this next thing. It's not about what you receive, it's what you do. It's a journey. And my journey ends when it ends, right? If it's in 30 days or if it's in fucking another 40 years, right? And so with that being the case, I don't think I would change shit because I'm fucking good. I mean, like I said, I would talk to the people in my life more just because I would want to make sure that again I annoy the fuck out of you guys on a consistent basis, and I would want, but on a serious note though, I would want to make sure that if I was to pass, I was an impact to the level and the expectations that I would expect of myself, right? Did I say the right things to these people? Was I there on these moments? Was I all of these things, right?
Yeah.
That bring value within my own version of my world. And why to me, and this is why I kind of made this a subject for today, is because we're going to have somewhat similar views because we're both, at least generally good people. At least I like to think so.
Yeah.
Um, but we have two different mindsets on so many elements of our lives. And so, with that being the case, what does my 30 look like to yours? Um, Now we're gonna go ahead.
To a degree, that could be a function of the generational difference.
That's correct.
I am a generation ahead of you. I'm hoping to retire.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd say my last 30 days, I want to be retired. And when you hear people's last words, I've never heard anyone say, oh gosh, I wish I'd worked more overtime. You know,
That's the difference between me and many people.
yeah, but I mean, it's, the, I wish I'd spent more time with my family is the
Hmm.
common statement when people get to the end. Um, and it did occur to me too, just while you were talking that, I suppose a possible reaction is, oh, I've got a list of people I'm going to knock off since I'm going in.
Randy must have had some technical difficulties here. Here, give me a couple seconds while we get him reloaded here. All right. All right. So we're gonna get him reloaded. Sorry about this, guys. You know how it is, obviously. Uh, uh,
I don't know what happened there, but I know I didn't like it.
oh, that's fantastic. All right, there's myself. Okay, I don't see you, buddy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
It defaults the camera off.
yeah,
There we go.
you need your camera.
Okay.
All right, let your camera adjust. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, welcome back. All right,
What
so
happened? You don't know.
your
Okay.
video for us. So let's swap it a little bit on this side, right? So we kind of went into what we believe that our life would look like if we were to die or we were to
Yeah.
die in 30 days, right? So let's switch it a little bit and let's say that 5% were to happen. The 5% was true and you lived. Okay. So
On
what?
my side, your video is frozen.
No, you must be having internet connections.
I think I must be. Yeah.
Well, on my end, your video's working, so
Okay. Good.
we're golden. All right. So what would be your next step? Like mine wouldn't change, obviously. Like I think that the relief part of it would be a good thing. I would probably be feel more blessed about what I had currently and was continuously going. And maybe I would fight a little bit more for the things that I needed and I loved, right? It's a realization. It was just kind of like I didn't change anything in my life, but it's a good slap in the face of saying, hey, you're not fucking immortal. It can happen at any time, right? So let's try to be more impactful in the things that I know that I can be, and maybe involve some people that are around me a little bit more, right? Uh, I think that's what would kind of shift with me specifically. So, what about yourself? If you were on that 5% and you lived through all this, what would be your shift if you were to wait? You were going to wake up that next day and know that you were okay, and you still have another 20, 30 years ahead of you.
I would. I think it would cause me to appreciate the moments even more than I do now, and I try to appreciate the moments.
Mm,
Um, and when I'm talking about not going to work, I'm thinking, there's my people I work with are really important to me. They
mm-hmm.
would have to be in that group, of people I wanted to be around at the end. So maybe going to work would work. I don't know. I think if I got to the other side of it and was like, oh, yeah, everything's okay now, I think the fragility of life, uh, that the fact of that being impacting as it would in that situation, I think I would appreciate things more. I think I could learn to appreciate a traffic jam. I mean, I mean, having stared down that barrel uh, and getting the reprieve, I think it would be fantastic.
So what
You
would
know,
what would be your first action? Like mine's a little hard to speak to on mine because I wouldn't have changed anything, right?
well,
So it
I'd
would
have to
just be
find a
another day.
job probably.
Well, yeah, but beyond that, right? So you would have to find obviously another job because you quit it because you're living your next 30 days like
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 a heathen.
yeah, well, no, like you like you had no tomorrow as you would like to I think we all phrase it that way. Um, but I think that your life would exponentially change anyways.
I think so.
So would you find yourself doing things like moving? Would you stay where you're at and just finding something that you want to spend the next few years doing? Would you go back to what you're doing? Would you maybe take more importance into a love life? Would you maybe rekindle old friendships? Like there's a lot of ways that you can look at this.
If I lived through that and went back to the exact same life I have now, That would be fantastic.
Mm.
Uh, in my book, I love my life. But I think the first thing I would probably do. God, this is a hard question because I haven't been there. I haven't. I mean, but to imagine what the
Mhm.
first thing might be uh, is appreciate people and let them know I appreciate them. I mean, on a daily moment to moment basis. I mean, not. I would hope I would be a nicer human, better human, uh, more caring, more giving, more uh, responsive, more less selfish. I think there would be a lot of selflessness after having lived your life and then
Mm.
getting an extended play. I think I would behave much more selflessly uh, because just the gratitude. You know, I have a lot of gratitude for life now, but I mean, I would think that having a reprieve, going on extended play, would change your perspective on people. I would hope the road rage would finally go. You know,
No, no, it
uh,
wouldn't.
no, it probably wouldn't.
No.
But since we're imagining things, let's imagine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, yeah, it's. I would hope to be a kinder, better Randy.
Okay.
And what's stopping me from doing that now? You may ask. Nothing. You know, maybe that's another goal to have in front of me.
Well, you had to put up with me actually, so that's you know.
I think when I get to the pearly gates, I'm going to get an extra prize for being your friend. Uh,
You're probably not wrong.
no. Um, yeah. What about? I mean, you're just going to continue on like nothing happened
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I have my goals
do you think
and
that's realistic, Joe? I mean, really, we're talking about a life-altering event.
yeah. I mean, I've been in that life altering event before,
I've been in
right?
multiple life-altering events, but I mean, to
And
just say, "Oh yeah,
I never changed my life in the terms of what I would do, right? And no, and it's just because, like I said, a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. A lot of people value life on what you haven't done, and I
yeah."
don't, and I don't.
No, I don't really either.
But that's what I'm saying is, but that would include, well, because I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go to Tahiti and have fun. No, that's not value to me. Value to me is what I input in my life every single day, right? Like I said, I would have conversations with you guys more and stuff like that, more than likely over the phone, right? Not in person. But the idea is no, because I find value in and purpose of myself, of what I accomplish every single day.
Can I argue semantics with you just a little bit?
Be
If
so.
you've had a life-altering event
Yeah.
and it didn't alter your life,
Hmm.
it was not a life-altering event.
Well, no. So it's altering to the point, but my going forward doesn't change, right? I may be in my head, right? I may struggle on a lot of psychological points, and that's just true, right? But how I want to live my life and where I'd go forward. And don't get me wrong, like I said, we're both going through hypotheticals, so it could be, in all honesty, that I could hear that I got fucking 30 days left and I fucking crash. And I just fucking go and jump off a fucking cliff. I don't know, right?
That's
But
an alternative, you bet.
yeah, but I just don't see any reason with my life that I would find any greater purpose than just doing random stupid shit that I've never found value in the first place, right? Me going me going to a different location is just that to me. And I don't go, oh my God, I am so glad that I went to the fucking Grand Canyon and saw a hole in the fucking earth, right? A lot of people do, and that's fucking awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't. To me, and you've known me for so many years, Randy, you
Yeah.
know that my going to work, coming home, even on my fucking days of work that piss me the fuck off, right? I feel accomplished as if my role as a individual in this life, me having the purpose in society and individually, and to throw that away, even if it was 100%, right? Even if I knew 100% that I was going to die, it doesn't matter. Fuck the I. There's a possibility. Fuck the prayer pope, right? Let's say it's 100. I still wouldn't, because that's not what I have my value in. My value is in my success and what I do with it, and my waking up every morning and trying to achieve being better the next day through what I do normally in my life. It isn't about what I don't have. It isn't about what I haven't seen. It isn't about any of that. It's literally about when I wake up in the morning, what that looks like, when I go to work, how hard I fucking try. I get off of fucking work and what that looks like there. And getting off of work and my daily routine and how I feel about myself at the end of the day and how I feel when I wake up in the morning. That's what fucking matters to me, right? Can I can I wake up in the morning and go, I feel like I've been a great fucking person to my friends? Can I say that? Because if I can't, then I need a restructure, right? And as much as we joke around about me being a pain in the ass, I do try to be an influence to everyone in my life.
I get that, Joe, but I tell
Mm-hmm.
you what, one of the things that occurred to me while you were speaking there
Mm-hmm.
is I, for some years now, have had a personal goal where I'm working to live
Mm-hmm.
versus living to work.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing a really good job with that goal. I haven't made a lot of advances towards it. Uh, but I would think a crisis of that level would be a punctuation on that, in that, yeah, I work to live. I don't live to work. And if I'm not going to live, why the fuck would I work? I mean, it's,
But you don't derive a version of purpose like I do through it. That's why.
I
That's
get a
why.
lot of purpose out of it. That's why it's kind of a goal that it isn't all consuming to me, because at many points in my life it has been, and currently it pretty much is too. As you know, I pretty much, you know, rarely get a day off even.
Mm-hmm.
It, but I think it's an ideal I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I would have a life outside of work that was more enchanting than work, that was more purposeful than work.
But that's
Um,
perspective, though.
yeah, but I mean, maybe I decide for 30 days I'm going to volunteer my time at the, you know, at a hospice. I mean, who knows what
Mm-hmm.
it would involve? But because I've had that value for some time and haven't been living up to it, I would think that might be a bucket list item for me.
Yeah. See,
Um,
there you go.
yeah, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, we just have, which is always what's so fun about this podcast is we have very opposing differences when it comes to a lot of things, which is
Yeah,
what keeps us such great friends.
it's
Um,
entertaining.
and it's funny off of knowing me for this many years that you are wildly confused or opposing. Confused is the wrong word. Opposing my doing that, because I would say the same
No,
thing. I.
I am stating my case. You're stating yours. You do you, boo boo. I'm all about. Dude, I'm not judging your decisions here at all. I'm trying to reflect off your decisions and see where I differ, because I do.
Oh yeah.
But no,
Well, no.
if that's your, I I can't comment to what you would do in your 30 days. It's not my 30 days.
Well, technically, it would be your 30 days too, because I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
your 30 days would just extend further.
yeah,
But no, and like I said, it's what actually makes you happy in work, in life, and work makes me happy, and you know, maybe that's where people look at me and they say that I'm a person that's a product of the machine. Maybe so, right? Maybe I am, but I like to make money. It makes me happy, right? It's not about having it, right? It's about making it, the journey, and that's part of my journey. That's the decision. That's how I view my life and the importance of it. And if I was to strip myself away from that and give myself no purpose, the first week might be fun, but then I would have to have a conversation with my mirror and be like, are you sure this is all you're about? You're about fun. You're about, well, gotta live it this way because that would be awesome and I deserve this because I, live to work. And I'm like, I live to work because it gives me a reason to exist in the first place, right? If we wandered aimlessly and did nothing, then that is all humanity would ever be is nothing. We would be essentially a product of the fucking food chain. It's what we do and what we accomplish that makes individually what we are as individuals.
yeah.
And that would be my argument to it, right? Is working makes me who I am. It's not because working for somebody or I'm working for myself or whatever the case may be, right? It's what I create internally, psychologically and physically at the end of the day that makes me the person that's worthwhile you visiting a coffin, right? All of this it structures who you are. Your work ethic, all that shit makes you the person that you are, right? So if you were just to eliminate that, right? Let's take for an example all the things you learn from work, a lot of the integrity that you get from being in that category, right?
Yeah.
Imagine yourself as a man and what you would look like to yourself if you lived your life vicariously in general, and what worth that you would get out of that in the long run. Now I'm not saying the 30 days thing is relevant to that, but I'm just saying in my perspective of how I view that, right? That is how I view it. And giving up on myself, regardless if it's 100% or 95% or 50% or whatever, right? I couldn't raise my conscious out of that body and be happy with myself. I would say you fucking gave up, and that's how I view it.
All right. Well, like I said, I respect your opinion. I don't share it, but I respect it. I yeah, I'm at a point in my life where I'm looking out over the horizon a little bit and seeing retirement, and I'm terrified of retiring. So I
Mm.
definitely understand your point of view. My purpose is to work, but in that extreme moment, I think I think that I would make different choices than you would make.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's and
Yeah,
and and so many people individually would make different
yeah,
decisions than we would also, right?
yeah.
Some people may go and streak down the road naked and say fuck it all, right? And there are days that does sound fun, not gonna lie, but I also don't want to go to jail. So, um, other than that, unless there's anything else that you wanted to add to that, Randy, we're going to end this episode. So,
Yeah, we've hit the time and then some. So yes, we can wrap this up, Joseph.
as always, all right. So, for everybody, thank you for watching the show. We do really, really appreciate your support. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you do see when we go live. We would love to communicate with all of you during the show, just so we can get live feedback and everything. We will be, as I stated actually a few weeks ago, we will be having somebody else on here live here soon. It's just conjoining schedules with other people, so we're still working that out. So, other than that, I hope you all have a absolutely wonderful day. I look forward to reading the comments and seeing all of your perspectives, and have a amazing, amazing week.
All right.